What's up, everybody? It's the Red Line Radio, where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. We talk about it a lot. We talk about new episodes, new manga, new chapters, new information. We got chapter 1153, The Birth of Loki.
Yeah.
It's only been about 25 chapters since this arc started. Topic of discussion since before the time skip.
Yeah.
Ever since Thriller Bark, we've been like, what's going on with Loki? So we're finding out little by little what's going on with Loki. As always, Kev, take the floor.
Yeah, so we're back off with the Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, volume 37. So we're back in the Daimyo of Ringo and Kukunjo, the scabbard who lost her arm in the fight with Kaido. This is her area. It's a very snowy area.
Kiku, Kiku Nojo, but Kiku.
Kiku. Any thoughts? I mean, we're just making the rounds. Not really a lot going on in this chapter.
No real thoughts, but I will say I do like Kiku. She was one of my favorite scabbards. Her brother died, and when her brother showed up for those little moments where those two were together, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Why are they so tall? But Kiku
rewatching cool. Marineford, like, you forget, like, this is Whitebeard's like 5th in command is from Wano, and that's buried until Wano happens. You're like, oh my goodness, you're here.
It's been 20 years. Like, I almost forgot about all this. But yeah, very cool. Doing the rounds. Boss Cho's also there, so more of Kaido's gang. You know what I'm saying? Just like scraps of people that were just like, you know what? I'm not really for all that, so I'll just hang out with the normal people.
And then, so starting off the page, we're back at Elbaf. I mean, we have Dory, Bragi, and Harold, all as children. What is this? 16, maybe?
I can see that.
But it is noted that Harold has the same hammer that Loki had last chapter. It's still not Ragnir, which is the one we see him with in the current day, but it is like a sacred, maybe a training hammer, but it is something that is very similar.
And that's Dory and Bragi with him. Very cool. You see the mom in the back not happy that that Harold is hanging out with them. They're like, I don't like this situation at all. I don't like them being friends. But Harold, that is Loki's hammer. And to think, like, Harold's as tall as, maybe not the tallest Loki, but he's definitely taller than any normal giant at the moment. Or about the size of a full adult giant as a child.
And it's to be said that no matter what, since he comes from the ancient bloodline, they're just trying to keep it from diluting enough every generation. So it's not that they'll get shorter. They will, because there's no more ancient giants anymore. But they're trying to keep it from diluting. We'll actually go into that deeper as the chapter goes on. But starting off, we're talking about his bloodline, where he was born into the bloodline of the ancient giant. The prince possessed a colossal body, monstrous strength, and high status. So we get him just chilling on the boat, dog. I mean, very first page, he's just flicking boogers and causing tsunamis, basically. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, just a quick little, like, who is Harold? What's he all about kind of thing. He's a big dude. He was hanging out with Dory and Bragi when he was a kid. Giant amongst giants. Boogers, enough to sink a battleship. You know what I'm saying? And then we get to his foil. The thing that is, okay, if Harold's this big bad, then what's the thing that evened him out? You know what I mean? And it's this chick. This giant that they find when they go to this island, and she's in like some kind of circus. And they're like, oh, you ain't keeping giants in a circus. I don't know if they kill everybody. I don't think they kill everybody, but I think something happened. I think there's at least one or two people that are hurt pretty bad. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, they saved the giant. They're like, hey, don't you worry about that. Ain't no humans gonna be capturing one of us, alright? We do this for Elbath, alright?
Do this for Elbath. We ride for Elbath. And then I think we learned like where her village is later on. But I mean, then we, after being rescued from Harold, we find out that this was all like an act, that she's actually repaying this village because they found her hungry, starving, like beaten up. And like this is the way that she was able to give back to them. And so she basically whoops his ass
I
until
wonder
he
if we're gonna
turns the
find out why she was hungry, starving, and beaten up.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, we don't know anything about any giant village outside of Elbath, basically. We do know that giants exist. We have the Yeti Cool brothers, Saul, which we'll get into later. But we don't know what they look like. Are they all captured, basically? Are they slaves to the government? Um, but yeah, I mean, I forget her name already. What is her name?
We'll probably
We'll
see
get
it.
into it.
Ela,
Yeah,
maybe. I think.
Hila, something,
Or that's the other
something
one.
like
Yeah.
it. We get two of Harold Hose in this one, so it's hard to keep them straight. Um, but basically, she's not. She's like, hey, just because they look different than you doesn't mean that their village means less than yours. Just because you were gifted size and strength at birth doesn't give you some godly right to them or anything, which strikes him immediately.
Yeah, she's like, you were
This,
just born big. He's like, I
yeah.
was just born big. What the?
He's like,
No. But I'm the king of the giants.
which is crazy because that like the way he thinks is exactly how a celestial dragon thinks,
Yeah.
but a couple notches. Don't get me wrong, more, but it same mindset nonetheless. And so when he sees the joy that it brings her to be kind, he just changes everything. Starts yelling at his people to like, hey, get back to work, help fix the village that we just fucked up.
And
Like,
I guess she's supposed to be very. I think they're supposed to make a point where she is very like average looking, but her personality kind of makes her more attractive because they
sure.
have a distinct style with the way she's drawn versus the way his second wife is drawn. So I'm wondering what they're trying to do with that.
Yeah, it really gave me just because we've seen it recently, but Kuma's mom like gave me a real big connection here as well. I don't know if there's any link, but character design really just kind of went one for one for me. But she gives him like a connection here. Like, hey, this we could actually be friends with them. Like they could teach you how to build certain stuff or their spices or they're just basically understanding like no, we can actually get along with our neighbors. We don't just have to bully them or kill them. We can learn from each other,
And then they can
which
make
is
you
awesome.
clothes that road will use in about 100 years.
That, and then we also see the sun god Nika dance. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're also spreading. I mean, this is this this was how Christianity was spread. Was hey, you want to learn about the sun god? Oh, you don't? Okay, your village will not be here tomorrow. Just go ahead and move on out.
But I think they're just
So
partying, much like on
they are.
Skypiea when they party and they just happen to be
Yeah.
doing that dance. I think that's just
Oh,
like a
okay.
dance they do. You know what I mean? I don't think he was
Gotcha.
out there like prophesizing. What is it? It's called. It's something in
What?
church where you're like going around like prophesizing about like God and like speaking.
Oh.
It starts with a P. I don't have the word, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess my mentality was maybe he was just messing up the village to mess it up, but he did mess it up. And then, like later on, he's like, "Oh, the sun god Nika." So I don't know if they're, but I definitely agree. Like,
Proselytizing.
oh, okay, okay,
But yeah, I don't think he's
gotcha.
doing that. I think they're literally partying, he's dancing, and then they could ask him, hey, what's with that dance? Like, you don't know the Nika dance? What's Nika? Bro, what?
I'm sorry. You you told me that you weren't born on Elbap. I didn't
Music
know you
starts
were
playing
born
in the
under a
background. They
rock.
start getting ready for a song. You don't know about Nika? But
Breaks out into like a song and dance. Like that'd be
yeah, bro. But yeah, life goes on. Harold and his future wife, like, they're She talks about, hey, I was born on the Samoana Island in the South Blue. I'm not from here. I'm from the South Blue. She talks to Harold about his travels. He says he went over the red line. She's like, you talking about the blood-soaked serpent? And he's like, the red line, right? Yeah, I guess you call it that. So that's a very interesting dynamic that they understand it as different things. And it still has that world-ending serpent Jormungandr like depiction, even across other giant communities.
Oh, that's how you. I read that flipped. I read that as he's because of how like which order it goes in. He's saying you went over the blood-soaked serpent. I think he just kind of like.
Oh, he has the darker line.
Oh,
He has the darker speech bubbles. She has the lighter
okay.
speech bubbles. That makes
And I
more
could
sense.
be wrong. And I could be wrong. Don't get. But I think her.
I think it is
traveling-
obvious. I think it is opposite.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
from the red line, or she's from the South Blue. They call it the red line. He's like, you went over the blood-soaked serpent? She's like, huh? She was wearing jean shorts. Yeah, she's like, huh?
Yeah.
You mean the red line?
Wow, you really are from like a small village, aren't you?
But yeah,
Wow, they don't have anything there, do you?
they caking up, and
Oh.
then it's 105 years ago, and
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just kind of reading it, but he's basically like, you know what? You know, my girl's got some points. We should probably not be fighting people so much. Like, you guys, we gotta learn from others. We gotta be friends with other cultures. We can become prosperous. And other people are like, hey, yeah, good luck convincing Dory and Broggy. He's like, hey, Dory and Broggy good. Don't bring them up. All right, they're my boys. Don't bring them up. I'm gonna deal with them how I deal with them. All right, you worry about you.
What? Who brought a? You know, Dory Broggy's not even here.
Yeah,
all right?
why
In 5 years, they about to go to a village, to an island, and just fight for 100 years.
Like, why are we
Why
talking
you
about
bringing them up?
Broggy?
I'm talking about you guys,
Yeah.
okay? And I mean, we understand that the talking points. We know that there are some people that weren't gonna always be cool with the giving up the axe for the book. They were like, no, I've spent 200 years alive. I'm too old to change.
I like killing people.
Type shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. Have you ever held your victim's heart while it stops beating? Yeah, I didn't think so. Go ahead and read about that.
Have you ever killed anybody, period? Even on accident?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nobody, huh?
Amateur, huh?
Passed.
Not even
Passed.
step on a guy, huh?
And so, it's nice to show restraint, especially at the very top, which is good. I'm always for defending yourself, but not being oppressive. But like, it feels like the first baby mama has like a good head about like the future of Elbath. Like she's like, no, you're like Elbath is blessed. Like this is a great place to be. Doesn't last though. Doesn't last. So he starts working as like a diplomat with other nations, start building cultural understanding, and like he's doing this side by side with her. So Ida, over all this time, like they're actually helping the village, doing it step by step together, like a true king would, not just like a figurehead, which is
She with him. She rocking with him.
Yep.
Every step of the way, she rocking with him. He's studying at night. She right there.
Yep.
He's seeing the people. She right there. They celebrating. She right there. 81 years ago, they have a baby together. It's beautiful. It's magical. His name's Haruden. They're like, hey, congratulations, King. Hey, congratulations, King. All right, she gonna need to get up out of here, though. All right? It's all nice, but she gonna have to get up out of here.
Actually, we got this fine looking something right here.
Is she gone?
And
She gone?
is she gone?
Okay, yeah. Here. Open the door.
Bring in Lady Estrid, please.
Yes.
It's like, oh god. So racism didn't stop at Elbath's border, obviously. So some of the higher ups, it appears like a lot of the warrior groups, maybe from their horns, they're not happy about the mixed blood, children, offspring. They want to keep it pure, so they got somebody who has that carries the noble blood of the ancient giant.
Yeah.
she may be a little more diluted than Harold is, but it's all about minimizing the
Yeah.
dilution.
She's also taller than most giants, but she doesn't have horns. So, like you said, diluted, but you got hey.
And we don't know.
Well,
We don't know right
I'll
now.
take a 60% over a 0. Or I'll take
Sure.
a 60 over a 20. They can't be 0, I don't think.
Well, at the end of the day, we also don't know if the ancient giants, they could be like deers in a way where it's like a doe won't have antlers, but the male will. And so that could be something as well. I don't know. I don't know enough about it as of yet, but I'm on the lookout for it. But this is something you would see for you history buffs in the mid 1940s Germany. You'd see something very much similar to what they're doing here.
Actually, all
But we
over
do-
Europe, in the all the way through the after the whole Islam thing, from the 1400s to the 1800s, it was all
Yeah.
inbreeding. That's where hemophilia came from, where the blood doesn't clot and it just keeps bleeding. That was from the inbreeding of the kings and the royal families in Europe. Bam, history lesson from the Red Line Radio. Don't say we didn't teach y'all shit.
Your English royalty family, this is, even though they get a lot of money, they have very, very big genetic problems from, like you said. This is why we're warned. This is one of many reasons why you're warned against it. But Estrid does come from the alcohol village to the north, which I don't know if that means in the North Sea, in the North Blue, or in the God realm, in the God realm, or the Heaven realm here on Elbath. That could be something else. But she is a student of earth and wind arts, so we'll get into that later.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just some hippie shit.
It is. This would be Dai Feng if translated. It's clear reference to Feng Shui, which is wind water, or Feng Shui, which is wind water. I don't know, guys. I'm terrible with pronunciations. But Alcohol Village. So we know Tequila Wolf and how Kaido came from Vodka Kingdom. We have a bunch of alcohol related things. Vasco Shot can come in. These are all on the table for me with mentioning alcohol. Any thoughts?
Vasco Shot is a good one, but I don't know how this alcohol village really is. The idea for all those not Whiskey Peak. What are the bridges called? Tequila Wolf, Tequila Vodka, Tequila Rum.
Rum Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf.
Rum Wolf, Vodka Wolf. I'm thinking those could have been started by giants.
Sure.
And then the world government is like, oh yeah, no, actually we took this island from you guys, and so we're just gonna take this idea. This is a good idea. But
it's a great idea.
But we're just gonna keep doing it for the next 800 years. We know you guys could have did it for 800 years, but we can convince the world that this is our idea. So we're gonna do that.
Well, and it gives me. We have a lot of parallels to our real world. You have, Alabasta was like Egypt. This could be like building the Great Pyramids of Giza type of thing, where it's just took hundreds of years. I forget how long the pyramids took to build, but some grand just offering to who you're. Was it for Cleopatra? I think, but this could be for the celestial dragons. But why? To what end? I guess. Do they really want to leave Murray Joie? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it being somebody else's goal is that like what you're saying. It was originally the giants, maybe for a reason. Maybe they wanted to travel, but I don't see the celestial dragons wanting to travel.
Because you have to give them a reason to want to travel. Okay, maybe you want to get to I get that some of them be traveling because people travel, you know what I mean? But it's y'all don't travel en masse, you know what I mean? Unless it's going to a hunting competition. So I don't know. But
That'd be kind of crazy.
Estrid, the new wife, she brings a horse with 8 legs or 6 legs or something. 8 legs. Excuse me. She's real bougie. She's like, we're only eating off silver now, and take all the jewels and shit. Just put that in my room. Also, all this energy stuff, no more east wind. Nuh-uh. Shit's just gonna be looking north from now on. We looking up.
Which, I mean, and like the way she introduced herself is like, hey, forget about that Eastern woman. And who is that? Harjaden? Whatever. Don't matter. Your old baby is no longer with us. Let's just go ahead and worry about me now.
Yeah, they put the baby in a nearby village where he will grow up and be friends with Big Mom for a year or two.
Sure. Friends. Right.
Acquaintances. They know each other. 70 years ago, people still ain't sailing like that. They're like, hey, we ain't got the boat technology just yet. Elbath does, because they're giants. They got crazy like atom tree wood, and they've got all kinds of knowledge from the library. So they're like, yeah, don't worry, we got this. They got like a thing called Pole Star, which also could be North Star. I think it's North Star because whatever. But I guess it helps the boats. I don't care. But Harold's telling everybody about his adventures. He's like, I seen fishmen, I seen mermaids. There was this baby named Neptune that was born. Everybody went crazy. That was cool.
Which for us is like, hell yeah, we know Neptune. We know that guy. But he does say, yep, it's about time. That's a very interesting, because the Sea Kings also said something about waiting for 15 years for Shirahoshi. So, interesting pull from him. I wonder if we'll ever know. But then we jump around. Yep, go ahead.
Harold was overseas. His whole mission has been like, okay, how do I get like the world government to like relax and let like these other nations, like we're a free nation. Why can't these other nations be a free nation? It's like, well, Harold, because you're a nation of giant warriors, and you could kill everybody in the government. But that's what Harold's doing. Meanwhile, the Queen's having a baby, the first baby boy named Loki, and she's, chick's having babies. She's like, hey, let me see my baby's face. And when she sees Loki's face, this little demon face with the black slitted eyes, she fucking falls out of her seat. She throws the baby. And she's like, hey, tell everybody this was a stillbirth.
Yeah.
Something you never thought you would hear in One Piece.
No, but guess what? This only sold the fact that
new
he
time
belongs
slot.
as a straw hat.
Yeah. New time slot. Yeah, oh bro, this is the flashback. Oh, you were hated and unwanted as a kid? Join the crew. You're one of us.
Sanji, make him a plate. It's like, all right, dude.
He reached out his arms and nobody reached back. Like nobody did the little finger thing for the baby to grab. Damn.
And so the mom, Esther, takes him and just tosses him off the edge.
Straight up after having the baby, too. She's like, fuck this. That's how much she hated this baby. She just had the baby. Was just tired, exhausted. She's like, fuck this. Rush the nurse. Stole that shit like fucking... Hey. She got some moves on her. She
was like, was that a strip and sack? That's crazy.
I was like, wait a minute. We playing Madden? Like, what are we doing right here?
It's a baby, girl. Like, what you doing?
She just,
but I forbid you
spike
anybody.
She gets the touchdown. She spikes the baby all the way down to the underworld.
Starts doing the primetime shuffle and stuff.
She does her victory dance and then goes back home. And reminds everybody, don't you fucking say shit about that baby.
Yeah. But then we get word coming from the abyss. Or, I'm sorry, I can't say the abyss in One Piece.
Oh, wait, right before that.
Oh, go ahead.
She's like, oh, yeah, also, I'm getting a divorce and I'm going home. She's like, I'm out. Did not sign up for this.
That is crazy. She's like, you know what? This wasn't worth it. I'm out. Which then we get news from the underworld that something is climbing, I guess, Yggdrasil, right? Like the actual atom tree.
Yeah.
So we see a baby Loki who is just beaten down. I mean, survived the fall
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She's like,
Just
I'm
climbing.
out. I want a divorce. I'm getting out. Don't tell anybody. Like, fuck it. I'm out. And they're like, hey, what about? But they're saying like something's coming from the underworld. She's like, well, what about it? Like, I don't know. She's like, I'm guessing she's under the impression he's just gonna die out there. She's like, he's out
Yeah.
there with the elements. Like, he's not gonna live, and I'm out, so I don't care.
Doesn't she forgot whose baby she had though?
Yeah.
This is a Harold baby. Obviously, it's just gonna be able to survive all this shit. Obviously, but and all of this is happening. Harold's not here. Like Harold's away, and his future
Diplomatic
heir,
mission.
his future heir on a diplomatic mission, is being sent to the wolves. So I do want this to be known. Like, if they kick him back into the underworld, Harold may be gone for a couple years. Like One Piece is not about being home quickly.
No,
This is
not.
like he,
Like-
so he could be gone for a while.
Yeah, so we got to see what happens to Loki once he gets back to the village and how people treat him. Now, when they see him, they'll probably send him back to like the palace and be like, "You're just locked in here for now until he gets back, and we're just gonna hope for the best."
Yeah.
Speaking
but
about
then
the best, though, yeah, we get Harrowden
go
and
ahead.
his mom.
Which is always the nice thing. I mean, Harrowden was raised right, had a loving mom. For now, again, we don't know in One Piece. She could end up like hung later. Who knows? But for now, like she's really happy. Like, why aren't you like happy to go see your little brother? And he's like, Harden's like, it's not my little brother. It's Harold's other son. Is kind of like how he's thinking about it. He only concerns himself with his mom. So
Yeah.
and then it looks like, is this Harden here at the very end? It looks
No,
like him.
I think
or
it's a
is
little
that
time
Loki?
skip, and that's Loki. Yeah, I think it's like a mini
Okay.
time skip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. We've already seen him with the Konoba before, so that is with it. The last page is the notes here, and that goes over the Earth Wind arts. We already covered that. Elbaf. This week's Elbaf was romanicized with the PH spelling for the first time within the manga's artwork itself. So I guess that I was always confused on that as well. So I'm glad they're kind of adding that in. I thought it was an F the whole time,
Yeah,
not a PH.
me too. Fable. But then I saw a bunch of it
Yeah,
like switch to PH after a while. But then
Yeah.
back and forth. But now it's clear it's the PH, and it could be like the same thing as Goldie Roger and Gold Roger, where it's like people off Elbaf don't know how to spell Elbaf. So if you have a map that has it with the F, it's like whatever, man. That's what they thought it was.
Samuwanai, whatever, is not chili, and it's a pun. It's believed to be a pun about Hokkaido. Has a few places that end in nai. So basically, it's just a joke. I don't know if we'll ever find out kind of what her village is or anything like that. It's a backstory of a backstory type thing. So I don't know how far we'll get. But what if it is the same village as Saul? And they all come from that same village. Saul is from the South Blue. So we do need to have like some central locations for
Saul is from the South Blue. Kaido's from the Vodka Kingdom. We got 2 shout outs. Okay.
Yeah.
One guy has horns, and that's the guy from the Vodka Kingdom. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
But you guys let us know. I mean, 1153 was hype. Loki looks ugly, though.
Break next week.
Break next week. That's true.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna have a Demon Baby anime video coming out with all the Demon Babies we've seen or remember. So I don't know. We'll talk about it. As always, this is the Red Line Radio, your one-stop shop for everything hot in the One Piece world. And we'll catch y'all later.
Peace.